And welcome back to Season 2, Episode 2 of Monday Night Football.
Got some games to talk about.
We've got a lot of games to talk about this episode.
More games that are coming up than actually happened. But, hey, we're just glad to have games that actually happen to talk about. So
It's the twosome of Todd and Juan today. Manny couldn't make it, So, Roy, we still miss you. We know you're out there following us. I see you comment. I see you send us text messages.
Right here, buddy. We got you.
Roy, we got you if you ever want to come on and be a guest speaker, man. But
but I'd like to have him on to make some predictions. Like, you can make some bold predictions and just never come back. Either way.
So, Todd, we had a lot going on this week. Obviously, here in a bit, we'll show the scoreboard for our previous week's game.
Yeah.
But in this segment, let's just talk about all the games that did occur. We had you had Dalton Academy go down to Christian Heritage.
Yeah, that was a game I was looking forward to, and obviously we're going to get to all these, but that was an affair that we wanted to, we were looking forward to and that sort of thing, and wondering how that was going to play out. Like, would Dalton Academy avenge would Christian Heritage avenge last year's loss, and how would that play out? And then, we had the first meeting of the Coahulla Creek girls and the Northwest girls. That had been anticipated for several years. And these are scrimmages. Do they really count? No, but ask the players, did they count?
They count.
Absolutely,
yes.
They do. It matters. And
then we had you had Murray County playing Pickens as well. Then we had North Murray playing Gilmer County.
Overall, I think it was a really good week because I think for coaches, I think they got a good feel of what they had. And on the flip side, I did not hear of any major injuries that happened, which that's almost just as important as anything else, getting these players match fit and keeping them healthy for the long haul.
Then you also, like I said, we had Southeast going down to Meadow Creek. Both boys and girls with strong results going all the way down to Lilburn.
Yeah, it's sometimes you just come right out of the gate and you just want to take a big bite and see what you got. And we'll talk about that result in a minute.
And then we had Dalton boys playing Allatoona down in Allatoona. So here's the thing, though. You got to think about Dalton rarely travels for a scrimmage game. Southeast rarely travels out of the area for a scrimmage game.
Usually you go to them.
But this year it was reversed. I had two of the powerhouses of Northwest Georgia, or even the state of
in the state.
The state of Georgia. Let's Dalton, yes, powerhouse of the state of Georgia. Southeast, an up and coming power with their recent wins.
Dude,
I'm being very political. PC. I can't show my allegiance right now, so I'm saying.
I'll do it for you, the powerhouse that is Southeast Whitfield.
All right. So normally these two powerhouses, wouldn't go down and do a scrimmage away, but they did this go around. I think these schools came up last year, or I know, but actually Dalton played Northwest last year. That's normally their scrimmage game,
and that's coming up.
So, and that is coming up. We will be discussing that. You're going to discuss a little bit in the show. You went, and I didn't get a chance, but you actually went.
You didn't go. It wasn't because you weren't invited. You were invited. Manny was invited. So don't make it out like it was just
I had family obligations to attend to that day. That's why I wasn't able to make it. But you did go down there. Yeah. So we've got some, I know there's some footage of some interviews that you did with a couple of former Dalton Catamounts that are now
making
CFC.
Yep.
I think one of them even made Atlanta United first team look a little silly. I think there's some viral video out there of.
I think we got that video.
But I think he's going out there on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram as well, right?
Yeah, when you got a former Dalton High kid signing autographs for Atlanta United fans, I think you got something. So, hey, you want to put the scoreboard up and show them what happened last week?
We can do the scoreboard, yes.
Go ahead and pull that up for us.
So here's the scoreboard for this the games that happened this past week. As we discussed earlier, Northwest played Coahulla. The boys went up 2-0, won 2-0. The girls won 4-1. I know you were present at that game, and you'll offer more insight at the next segment. You'll have more insight. Now, Dalton Academy 2, Christian Heritage 3.
We'll talk
about it, but I knew that score going into the game, I knew it was going to be like a 1 or 2 game. Compared to the 2 games that we saw last year, it was reversal where Dalton Academy actually scored 3 goals. But this year it was reversed in the scrimmage. And they still have to play each other in the regular season.
Dude, it's still spicy. I love it.
And then you have Murray County going up, boys beating Pickens County 2-0, girls going down 1-5. And then I think we have some other scores to discuss as well. We'll go back to those in a second. But, as mentioned, we're going to discuss these games more in depth in the next few segments. But anything stands out from those score lines that you saw right now?
Yeah. Okay. Two, I guess, scores. Just if you didn't know if you take the context of a scrimmage game out of it, then yes, there's a couple of things that jump out at me. Obviously, Christian Heritage pulling the dub out over Academy. That was an eyebrow. Not because I didn't expect it, but you actually think, okay, it played out. That they beat them, and we knew. We talked to Coach Boyd. We knew she was coming back with more this season. And then the other one was the Northwest girls, Coahulla Creek girls, that score being 4-1. I was at that game. That score line was a little wider than I thought it was going to be. As far as any of the other ones, not really. I was happy to see Murray County get off to a good start, getting a 2-0 win over Pickens. That always bodes well. And then, I think everybody was a winner in Murray County because it was taco night. At Murray County High School, yeah, Millie's Tacos was there, so it was tacos. Everybody was a winner there.
So I know we've got
and here's the rest of our scoreboard.
Oh, here's the rest of our scoreboard here. So we have, as mentioned, this county of Murray County, we undefeated. North Murray boys beating Gilmer 2-1, and then girls tying 2-2. Southeast, as mentioned, they pulled out a couple of dubs down in even those scrimmages. They went down to Meadow Creek, won 2-1 on the boys' side, 4-2. On the girls, and we'll go more in depth later in the program. And then Dalton, 3-1 boys winners over Alatoona. Now the girls, Dalton girls didn't play. They had a scrimmage game that was going to be played. It was a red and white scrimmage game. That game got put off due to the weather. They couldn't go and play at neighboring stadiums because they were being in use, and they couldn't get rest if they switched it to another day. So that's another, we're still going to deal with that ref shortage this year. So,
yeah. Hey, and this is a good time to touch on this, or maybe we can touch on it in the next segment. But fan behavior, I want to touch on that.
Did you see some games that
I did? But going back to this ref shortage, it's a deal. And also another thing that's going to be a continued deal, and is field conditions. Already seeing some games getting shuffled to different facilities because of field conditions and rain, and fields getting torn up. So both of those things are going to play a factor.
So we're getting ready to go to commercial break, and then when we do return from that commercial break, we're going to discuss a little bit more in depth the Northwest Coahulla Creek. And we do have a couple highlights from that game. So we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we'll discuss Northwest Coahulla.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey,
That's our part.
Experience the power of the links. OptiLink's streaming app VidLink, powered by its fastest internet service, GigLink. Your link to reliable remote access to healthcare. Your link to the best educational opportunities. Your link to our community's only local provider. Your link to the ultimate in entertainment choices and gaming experiences. No interruptions and faster downloads power up your life with the perfect combination of speed and entertainment. VidLink and GigLink. Upgrade today and get the power of the link.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams a reality.
At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
At Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty, we've been serving our community since 1974 with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Cleveland, Tennessee. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. So this is as last year we would call this the Roy Alvaron segment, Power Hour, because it was all Dalton.
Yeah.
This is going to be the Todd Hudgens segment.
Yeah.
You know,
that's fine. It's just, I mean, we're going to talk a little bit north end of the county here. Coahulla Creek and Northwest, they had a scrimmage. That was last Thursday, and it's one of those things like it's only like 10 minutes from my house, so I'm really happy. Both schools were involved. It makes life very easy. But also it was like, we'll start out with the girls. That was much anticipated. They hadn't played each other. I don't know when the last time they played each other was, but both programs, obviously Northwest had been in the state playoffs for multiple years and state semifinalists, and then we had Coahulla Creek that had been coming on strong, had some really good players. You had trying to think who it was. Natalie Brito's there. She's been scoring a lot of goals. You had the Cornell sisters at Northwest. So they were these teams that were trending toward each other, but this was the first year we got it. So it wasn't a scrimmage, and you can't take a lot away from a scrimmage. But just to talk about the girls, the final score, we had
4-1.
4-1 Northwest, and you had a brace by Sadie Clark. Merrill Clark chipped in another one, and Lorelei Uten had the fourth goal. So, and then
so we had the Clark scoring 3 goals.
That's right.
Amanda, I know you're proud of your daughters. I'm giving you a shout out. I saw your sister Tara the other day, and I know they're very happy for their nieces. Keep it up.
And then for Coahulla Creek, we had Brito chipping in, and I'm sure Coach Coley's glad to get his top goal scorer off and running. The field conditions, they're a little bit soggy, and you could tell. There was enough rust out there, you could tell from like preseason and stuff to sink a ship, okay? Like there was some rust. Northwest missed some sitters, Coahulla Creek missed some sitters. There was some stuff that in a couple of weeks you're going to expect them to finish, and they're going to look a lot more crisp. But overall, I think it's the same kind of thing, right?
Okay.
They got out there, they played, nobody got injured, and it was a good showing by both
I think we got
sides.
some video footage of these games, right? So hopefully we'll be getting shortly.
We got them of the boys.
Of the boys,
Yeah,
okay.
so we can shift to the boys. Northwest goes over, and they had that epic game last year, right? 2-2 final, or I think it was 2-2 final, and you had that last minute equalizer by Creek, and so this is rivalry revisited, and both teams played very well. I thought Northwest just capitalized on their opportunities, and of course our goal scorers, you had Hayden Adams getting off to a good start. He chips in with one, then Nico Kuna. Nico doing Nico stuff, right?
It was a free kick?
Free kick, probably about 25 yards out, and you knew it was coming. I mean, you could see he was about to pace that upper left 90, and man, he did. But both teams looked good out there, I thought. I'm sure the coaches would really come in and really critique it and tear the performance down a little bit. But here you go, right off a corner kick. You got Hayden Adams rising up, putting it near post in. Nice finish. It's amazing for a right back how many goals that guy finishes. I think he had like 7 goals last year, and I'm pretty sure they were all headers.
You were pretty excited to see White Chocolate score.
Hey, man, who's not excited to see? Well, Coahulla Creek's not excited, but it's always fun.
And knowing you gave him that name, White Chocolate. So has it stuck within the team out there, or
I think there's some White Chocolate mentions out there, and I think he gets a good laugh out of it.
Right.
So
then I think we got another goal here. You got the Nico Kuna.
Yeah, I mean, when does this guy not score, right? So you gave up a free kick. It's a type of goal that seems harmless, and I don't know if we can run that again. It's a really short clip. But, you give up a free kick from 25 or 30 out at this level, and 9 times out of 10, most schools, most teams, that's a harmless place to give up a free kick, right? I mean, you're planning that they're going to chip it in and try to hit it. Not when Nico's on the field, right?
He's hitting it straight in.
So there it is, upper 90, beats the keeper. And when you got a guy that can put in free kicks from 25 out and put them on frame,
so you had the opportunity to see both of these teams. So looking at them, even though it was a scrimmage, how do you see this? How do you see them playing out the season? Obviously, they play each other again on March 28th. Towards the end, a month from now, they're going to be playing each other.
Yeah, and I tell you, what I see happening is they're going to continue to develop. And if I can pull it up in just a second, I'll give you a quote that Coach Jacobo gave me. I see these teams continue to develop, and I think you're going to see a lot of improvement, even more at Coahulla Creek. They got a really young squad and some players growing into some positions. With Northwest, they kind of know what they got up top. They got Nico. They got a proven goal scorer up there. So it's just getting some cohesion. They did have an injury at the end of last week. They lost their center back to a head injury and didn't get to play in this game. So I think they're going to do well, and I think they're going to adapt. So.
And I know you made an interesting observation to me the other day.
I'm not sure what this is.
In a text message.
Please, let's
because,
hear it.
this year, as we've discussed, we're going to have We're going to be able to do the carpet Soccer City Classic or the Soccer City Cup between the boys and the girls, between Dalton, Southeast, Coahulla, and Northwest. Since, Coahulla and Northwest are actually playing this year, we weren't able to do this last year. So we had discussed in a text, I said, "Oh, this Soccer City Cup, how's it looking?"
I know where you're going with this.
And if I'm not mistaken, you actually came out and without me even having to pull this information from me, you were like, "Juan, I think the Southeast girls are the favorites to take the Soccer City Cup."
All right, I don't look. Coach Close, my bad, dog. My bad. That's all I can say. I don't mean to put this kind of pressure. So when I look at what they had last year, what they lost, and how they play and who they have coming in, I like Southeast. I think I got them kind of as my favorite. Not by a mile. I think they got a little something extra. I like the way they played last year. They played some really good stuff. If you watch that Northwest game at Northwest, man, they were really crisp. And I thought they were unlucky in a lot of ways not to get a draw out of that game. So I look at that and I look at what Northwest lost. I just don't think you just replace all the goals and all the experience that the Cornell sisters brought, right?
Yeah, no,
I don't think.
And I just wanted to put you on the spot because
I appreciate that. Believe me, from the deep Roy Alvaron place in my heart, I really appreciate.
But I think the girls, the Soccer City Cup is going to be very competitive.
I do too.
I think between Dalton, Southeast, and Northwest, it's going to, and obviously Coahulla's in there, but I think the girls. I think it's really going to come down to those three, and we will later on let you know. If you haven't been to our Monday Night Football Facebook page or our Instagram page, we've already put out the games that will count. We've explained how the breakdown is going to happen as well, of the goals for the boys and the girls. So it's going to be very interesting, to see this play out.
So, Juan, who's your favorite for the girls?
I mean, I'm a Southeast grad, but I'm gonna have to go with my boy Almodovar. He's got, his team is hungry, coming off back-to-back region championships, and he stepped up his schedule, and I think he's got the girls focused. Like I said, we're here to make predictions, and that's my prediction right now.
Okay.
If I get egg in my face down into the season, I will gladly accept it.
I know what colors I wear off here, and I know I'm going to catch some stuff next time I go to Tunnel Hill, but it is what it is.
But we're going to get ready to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're actually going to discuss a little bit the Christian Heritage Dalton Academy game, and we're going to go into the Murray County game as well. So we're going to commercial break, and we'll see you back in a few minutes.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Casillas.
Hey, that's our part.
Experience the power of the links. OptiLink's streaming app VidLink, powered by its fastest internet service, GigLink. Your link to reliable remote access to healthcare. Your link to the best educational opportunities. Your link to our community's only local provider. Your link to the ultimate in entertainment choices and gaming experiences. No interruptions and faster downloads power up your life with the perfect combination of speed and entertainment. VidLink and GigLink. Upgrade today and get the power of the link.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams a reality.
At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
At Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty, we've been serving our community since 1974 with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Cleveland, Tennessee. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to another segment of Monday Night Football. And
What we got now?
Oh well, you wanted to. You had a quote that you didn't get to finish up.
Let's get this. So Coach Jacobo at Color Creek, he gave me a quote the other day, and I want to read that. It says, "Thursday's loss versus Northwest was not the outcome we were anticipating. With that being said, Diego Fryer showed promising saves throughout the game, despite 2 set pieces that came from Northwest. You guys saw those set pieces, borderline unstoppable on those. This will allow more playing time on the field for Miguel Arredondo, our former Arredondo for his normal full-time goalie. Arredondo has shown some strong finishes last year versus Northwest. He had that equalizer I was talking about in the past, and very strong work ethic in practice. Johnny Mendiola, our freshman standout, showed he was not going to let Northwest push him around. There you go. Without proving his point, he has the same fight in him to win like the rest of the Mendiolas. I'm very proud of his dedication to the team. I'm extremely excited to see what else he has to offer as we move forward for the rest of the season."
So what is his nickname? Because you have him in Machete. Their dad is called El Carnicero.
Yeah, so I don't know. Look, I'll have to watch him play more to get a. But yeah, that's a good point. You got this. I don't know. You got this this heritage now going of like blade wielding people. So
But here in a few in a minute or so, we're going to actually have some highlights from the Christian Heritage Dalton Academy. For me, this game I texted with Coach Alvarez for a little bit, Ruri, and I think we spoke for as well. And he wasn't disappointed. He said they played the game. The team was. They played out. Chris Harris came out very composed, very strong. They were very, there was a good scrimmage game. So for him, he's used it as a growing. Like, look, we're not just because we're state champs. We're not just going to be able to come out here and roll over and people think we're gonna beat them.
Right.
No, everyone's going to give us their best shot, and they did. Here's a little bit of highlight. Now this goal was, it came out from the back. As you can see, Christian Harris did not let up. They kept attacking, and there you go.
This is Marco Aristigi. So in a week where I think we had 4 people that scored a brace, he set himself apart and he had himself a hat trick this week. So the senior coming through, and that's what you want your senior goal scorer to do, coming back hungry and putting 3 goals in. Obviously, he was the difference in that game. But I think this is a good thing for a defending state champion, honestly, to come out and, any idea that you had that you were invincible and you deserved to win the state championship, like you just have that knocked right out of you and put you right back on. I bet Ruri won't come out and say it, but I bet he likes the fact that they
and that second goal right there, literally he goes up, heads the ball to himself,
and then off on the
and
volley.
then off the volley.
That's
so
nice.
Yeah, and looking at this,
you think secretly deep down Ruri's like, I'm kind of glad we lost this game to humble my boys.
you know what? I don't want to say that because I don't want him to text me and be like, "Yo."
But that's kind of,
But in talking to him off, throughout the season, and then even before the season started, he knew what was coming. He said, "Look, we're scheduling. We want to play everybody because really." It doesn't. The record matters, but not. What really matters is the players being prepared and ready to play when it comes region playoffs and state playoffs.
But on the flip side, you got Christian Heritage, right? Who now I think they've set themselves up. That's a huge confidence builder. Getting a big win off a state champion, that sets them up nicely. They have a division change or a region change this year, or a state level change, and I think that's going to be huge for them. And obviously, they got some quality, and if they can ride Marco like that all season, keep pumping in them.
And just looking, we'll discuss this more. Christian Heritage, they are playing a tough schedule. They're playing Sonoraville this week. They're playing Sonoraville tomorrow, and then they play. Heritage.
So I think when they go into their playoffs, they're going to be like, I don't know. I think those teams are going to look soft to them, is what I think.
Yes, but was this score surprising? No. Was it tight as we thought it was going to be? Yes. As mentioned, we went to both games last year. We saw how they played as a first-year school, even though Dalton came out on both on top, I think 3-1 and 3-2 in either game.
But we'll see where they're at in a few weeks when they play again, and we'll see who's made the bigger strides. And, of course, that'll be kicking it back across the street.
Yeah.
So.
And then we didn't have a girls' game. I think the girls' game was supposed to be played, but it got canceled. If I'm not mistaken, it's most likely due to half of Christian Harris girls still playing basketball.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be a thing right now. And another thing – I just want to bring this up that lets the weather know what's going on is At this time of the season, how do you know when it's soccer season in the state of Georgia?
Is this a joke?
No, how do you know? Like when they're playing, like the first 2 weeks of the
I don't
season,
know.
you have 50, 60 degree weather.
Yeah.
Once the season starts, what happens? It rain, cold.
Yep. Hey, I'm telling you, football season is soft compared to soccer season. You can tell every football team out there I said that. It's soft.
So, but here now, let's flip over. We were going to discuss a little bit about Murray County. We do have some highlights there from Murray County.
So it was taco night at Murray County. They had the taco truck out. Sounds like everybody had a good time. Juan, what's your go-to on the taco truck?
I usually go carne asada with some salsa verde, cilantro, cebolla.
And there you have it.
Yeah,
That's a Juan dish. Just go order that. And
I can't. Yeah, everywhere I go, asada, and I'm just an asada guy.
I usually go tacos El Pastor. That's me.
I mean, if I'm going to pay that much I'm going to go with the money the most I can get my money out of, and that's going to be asada.
Well, let's get to the soccer. So the girls came out. They ended up 5-1 loss on the bad end. I know that
here we got some highlights.
More, but here are the Murray County boys. They have the 2-0 win. Had a brace. And I want to make sure I give credit to the goal scorer. That would be Julio Escobar. Had 2 goals for Murray County. And I remember Coach Bergano said, I think we're going to be okay because I think I got myself a goal scorer. Well, if this is any indication, he's got himself a goal scorer.
Oh, yes.
Slipping it past. And I'd also heard field conditions. This is one of the fields that I'd heard might be an issue because you can see they're doing construction all around there, and they got some sand in the field.
But it looks like they came out. It looks like they were on the pedal the whole.
Swinging a whisk, 1-on-1.
And did he finish? Yes, finish.
To punish. And that's what you got to do when you have those breakaways. You got to make them pay. I'm really excited like I said, for Murray to get off to a good start. I know they've been doing good things, and they've had some adversity over there with all the construction going on the practice fields and that sort of thing. So, moving forward for them, I know they're always going to have their eye on the Wagon Train Cup, but I really think I want to say they have Coahulla Creek next week.
Or this week.
Yeah, I keep saying next week. It's this week.
This week.
And so I'm really interested in that game, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be – I think on the surface people are like, they favorite Creek, but I don't know. I think Murray may have something for them. We'll touch on that a little bit later in the show.
As you mentioned, it didn't go as well for the girls, but the girls still came out there. They get a valiant effort. They lose 5-1 to Gilmer, but it's nothing to keep their head down.
Nope.
They'll come back. Against Pickens, they'll come back.
Coach Plymouth's got a young squad over there, so I think they're gonna grow into the season more than anything.
So we're getting ready to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have the OptiLink scoreboard again. We're going to have a little bit of footage and conversations regarding the Atlanta CFC match, and talk a little bit about North Murray. So we'll go to commercial break.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Casillas.
Hey, that's our part.
Experience the power of the links. OptiLink streaming app VidLink, powered by its fastest internet service, GigLink. Your link to reliable remote access to healthcare. Your link to the best educational opportunities. Your link to our community's only local provider. Your link to the ultimate in entertainment choices and gaming experiences. No interruptions and faster downloads power up your life with the perfect combination of speed and entertainment. VidLink and GigLink. Upgrade today and get the power of the link.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams a reality.
At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
At Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty, we've been serving our community since 1974 with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Cleveland, Tennessee. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. As we are on the second half of the show. In just a minute coming up, we're going to revisit the scoreboard. If you missed it from the previous week, we'll go run down all the scores again. We've already touched base on the Northwest Coahulla Creek. We've already talked Christian Heritage and Dalton Academy. We've talked Murray County. So coming up in this half, we're going to talk. I went up to the CFC Atlanta United game. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk. We got North Murray. We still got Dalton, and we still got Southeast to talk in the second half of the show. So stick around with us. So I guess we got the scoreboard coming up next.
Yes, we got the OptiLink scoreboard. As we said, it's going to revisit the scores, which, we had some interesting score lines, some not so interesting, some.
I was once again most interested in that Northwest girls match, and so I'm once again looking forward to that second one.
So a little quick rundown here. Obviously on Thursday we had Northwest boys 2-0 over Coahulla Creek. Northwest girls 4-1, braced by Clark, and then the other Clark sister with a goal, so they scored 3 out of the 4. We have Dalton Academy boys going down in a scrimmage to Chris Harris 3-2. Hard-fought game. Girls didn't play. And then we had Murray County boys with a 2-0 win over Pickens, and then the girls going down 1-5 for that. But as mentioned, that's just going to be more of a growing. The girls going to learn from it. Coach Clemens has. She's been very an optimist, so she knows what's going on.
North Murray represent getting right up from the state playoffs. They get started 2-1 win over Gilmer. Girls, Rolando's got them playing well 2-2. He's starting 6 freshmen this year. Southeast, Meadow Creek, they're going up a few notches, but still coming home with a dub. 2-1 for the boys, 4-2 for the girls. And then Dalton, the boys going down to Allatoona, coming back 3-1 winners. And the girls, Dalton girls, red and white game was canceled due to what?
And they had some interest, just the weather, not being able to play it on a turf field. But, interesting, Meadow Creek will be playing another local team here in the future. I think it's carrying up, but they will be playing. Allatoona will be playing as well. So we'll be able to see exactly, how good is Meadow Creek? How good is Allatoona?
Yeah, because you never know what you're playing until these teams get on into the season.
But this is really your hour again. I mean, Mr.
Dude, I was busy last week, okay? I was busy. I was going to games. I went up. I was excited. I thought these guys were going to – Manny, who's not here, was going to join me for the CFC Atlanta United match. Dude, it was a great time. It really was.
I think half of Dalton was there. If I looked on my Snapchat, Instagram feed, I kept seeing
it was blowing
everyone
up.
Was there from Dalton.
Yeah. It had a strong local flavor to it. We had 2 former Dalton Catamounts, standout brothers, Damian and Fabian Rodriguez. Damian had himself a day. And
once again, I'm here with
get out there
Damian
and find his house.
Rodriguez,
And I got an interview with him after the game.
signing from Dalton High School. Man, you just had 45 minutes against the Atlanta first team, which, if I'm not mistaken, you just tore down the whole right side of the defense to give you assist. Dude, tell us about that moment.
If I'm going to be honest right now, I really don't remember much. All I remember is I turned on the guy. As soon as the 2 guys fell for the first fake, I kicked the ball forward, and then from the corner of my eye, I see the guy that was ready to side tackle me. So I just sent it up a little bit, and I threw on goal to give the 6 to Alex.
Now, early in the half, you were matched up against Andrew Gutman, and it looked like he was trying to body you up pretty good. So tell me a little bit about what that was like, because he looked like he's putting you under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, well, after all, it was over a fun experience playing against a team like Atlanta. Gutman, a good player, he'd come in every single time, win the ball and everything, but it was just great.
And if you could just speak to a little bit about, what it means, coming up from Dalton and playing under, and Dalton High, the kid from Dalton, that's right. This what it means, coming to Dalton and representing Dalton at this level.
Oh, well, it's special because I'm basically worked my whole life for it. Playing against a team in Atlanta, they're an hour away from my house. Chattanooga, 40 minutes away, so it's great that I get to play for Chattanooga.
Congratulations on a great day, and good luck the rest of the season.
So I see you caught up with Mr. Dalton Catamount there.
Yeah, so and I apologize. I didn't for the audio. I didn't trust my microphones. That was the first time I'd used them. So, but so I've interviewed him before for a different reason, and he was so shy, and I remember withdrawn, and to see him come off the field in that way. So both teams came out, they played their first 11 for 45 minutes. Nobody's really match fit, early in the season. But Damian, like I said, he had himself a day. He had an assist. Yeah, basically 2 assists, 1 direct assist, and the other one was like a secondary assist. But what he did to the right side of that Atlanta United defense, if you're an Atlanta United fan, either you need to be worried about the right side of your defense, or I guess it'd be your left side of your defense, or you need to be signing Damian Rodriguez. Either way, something probably needs to happen. You can go on YouTube and you can find that game, and I think he assisted on both the second and third goals. Final score of that game was 3-3.
3-3.
Yep, 6 goals in the first half. The second half was both of them reserve sides.
Atlanta 2 team and a lot of reserves for the
and Trolist on the CFC side. So it was just everybody. Once again, I think what was important for them is to give everybody a run out and not get injured. But also Fabian Rodriguez's brother also got in the game.
How did he look?
He looked good. He looked crisp. But, I think for a lot of those guys, it's the first time playing at that level in front of, I think it was somewhere between
7,000, almost 8,000.
7,500 fans.
All right, this is Todd with the Monday Night Football crew up here with Fabian Rodriguez, who just had a good 45 minutes versus Atlanta United. Fabian, can you tell us a little bit about the feelings that were out there? You're going up against Atlanta United, team you see on ESPN, against some world-class players.
I felt good out there. A blessing being able to come out here and play. They're a really good team, and just wish them good luck forward to the rest of the season. And same with us. Just try to get up there and win the championship, what we're here for.
And can you talk to me a little bit about what your upbringing, playing at Dalton High under Coach Cheeves and some of the leagues in Dalton, how you feel like that maybe helped you develop and be ready for this moment?
Yeah, playing a lot. Well, Sunday League, that helped a lot because I got used to playing with older kids. I've been playing with older people ever since I was young in club. And playing with Coach Cheeves, the condition he gave us and play out wide, that's what we mostly do here. So bringing that into here was pretty easy since I was already used to it with high school.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Congratulations, and have a great rest of your season.
You too.
And so I saw you got, Fabian had some good commentary there, but
yeah, and you see what it means too for them to be from this community and to represent Dalton, to have went to Dalton High, to be from this area and to represent it as a whole. It's important and it matters. And I think about what that does, right, for the younger generation coming up, for those guys that are grinding in high school, that are grinding even in junior high, right? And I saw them at the game getting autographs and that sort of thing. You know what that does? That does big things for the psyche of a young player.
And I think it's not going to change. We still have Yair Paez down at the Red Wolves. You have Nathan Villanueva as well at the Red Wolves. You had Kobe Perez, who's a former pro that was at down at Tormenta FC.
Yeah, he was at Union
Omaha. So we'll see a lot more. But we're going to go to commercial break, and we come back. We're going to have a little bit of Dalton. Finally, for those Catamounts, we're going to discuss a little more Dalton and some Southeast highlights as well. So we're going to commercial break.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Casillas.
Hey, that's our part.
Experience the power of the links. OptiLink streaming app VidLink, powered by its fastest internet service, GigLink. Your link to reliable remote access to healthcare. Your link to the best educational opportunities. Your link to our community's only local provider. Your link to the ultimate in entertainment choices and gaming experiences. No interruptions and faster downloads power up your life with the perfect combination of speed and entertainment. VidLink and GigLink. Upgrade today and get the power of the link.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams a reality.
At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
At Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty, we've been serving our community since 1974 with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Cleveland, Tennessee. We've got you covered.
welcome back to Monday Night Football and to our ex-co-host. This is the
Wish you were here, buddy.
Wish you were here, and we're going to name this the. I'm not going to give you a power hour. We're only going to give you 4 minutes, Roy.
The Roy Alvaron honorary 4 minutes.
4 minutes. So this is all you're getting. Roy Alvaron is 4 minutes. But Dalton, as we mentioned, the girls didn't play. They're going to have a scrimmage game. They weren't able to get a scrimmage game in due to the weather. The wet fields. They weren't able to play at Harmon because the field was too wet. They weren't able to play at.
And it hadn't gotten any better over the past few days.
No, they haven't. They weren't able to go to the academy at TDA Stadium to play. Obviously, the field was in use, so they had to cancel. But the Dalton boys did play, and they went down to Alatoona.
Yep.
And they came out with a 3-0?
3-1.
3-1 victory down to Alatoona. So, I mean, to go on the road on a Friday night, and they still come out victorious. We had some highlights of that. I think Coach Cheeves is probably, I think I read there's still things that they can work on. He was happy about the game, but he said there's things that they can learn, some things that they can clean up before they get in. Because you know what? You know what's going to happen tomorrow? They play Northwest. So it doesn't get, you go from Alatoona to Northwest, like boom. And we're going to discuss more of that. But I know the game was good. It looked like Zeke Ortiz, who Coach had mentioned, they had moved him from a wing up to a forward. And it looks like it's paying off dividends, right?
Exactly. I mean, that's always what you want is to get your goal scorer off and running, and they've done that. And I think Coach Cheese is kind of one of those like Saban-esque sort of coaches, right? Like he's always, am I happy we won? Yes. Now let's strip the game down and let's look at what we can improve on because he knows Alatoona is not, in game one, is not the end goal, right?
Correct.
I mean, we know where his goal is every year.
I think they're trying to go 23 games. Here we go. We'll see. There's the first goal by Zeke.
Got the hips around on that one.
And
Zeke, are your hips still that flexible?
No, they're not, man. I'll be trying to do some things, open up my hips, and it doesn't work.
Out.
But Zeke Ortiz, I'm going to call it now. I think he's going to have.
Are you about to put a goal number?
I think he's going to have easily 20 goals this year. Easily 20. I'm going to put it out. He's going to score 20. Probably the north of 25.
Here comes the PK. I watched this one already. Slow roller.
Is that a Southeast high school player, though? I thought Southeast players are the only ones that dye their hair blonde.
They're blonde. I don't know how that works. I'm not commenting on that.
I thought Southeast players are the only ones that dye their hair blonde.
All I know is that slow roller PK was cold. Man, you did that boy wrong.
So that second goal scored by Luis, and it takes a lot of guts to make it a slow roller like that. So, and I know we got the final goal here scored. Looks like Luis with the set piece.
Man, you ain't gonna lose him with that hair.
And blasted straight into the box.
Nice. Slow to react. You got to think that defense is slow to react, man. They got punished.
Yeah.
With an exclamation point on that one. So Dalton with the 3 goals. Hey, here's one thing I'm never going to worry about, and it's Dalton scoring goals, right? It's just never the problem.
Well, go look at their past 15 years. I think they've scored over 100 goals each season in the last 10, 15 plus years. That's never an issue.
So, but it's like Coach Chief said, it got some players back that were, I forget who he said was out for a long stretch last year, but one of his center backs, they're back this year. So he's going to bring in and strengthen that back line. So, I mean, I look for a big year for Dalton again as usual, but I'm talking like that might be what they needed to push him just.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, we're going to discuss it more in the next segment. They kick off tomorrow versus Northwest, and that game will be played at it's scheduled to be played at Dalton, but with the weather, and I'm hearing that most likely it's going to be transitioned over to Dalton Stadium, so be on the lookout for that. We already know Southeast,
Y'all know how it is this time of year. You might be playing one place at 2 o'clock, and you might be playing somebody.
But, so Dalton, I think, they started out well. They're coming, and then they get their first regular season game tomorrow. Both boys and girls. Mm-hmm. It's not a Soccer City Cup
No,
game.
It's not. Well, because we used the first game last year. So what we tried to do in setting up the Soccer City Cup was we tried to flip it this year.
Yes.
Whereas if you had them at home last year, you have them away. There's some stuff that didn't quite work out this year because of scheduling, but we do what we can to make it. So you can find our social media, and we can pop that. I don't think we have that graphic, but you can find our social media account, and the schedule is on there. The games will be counting, and the format we're going to be using.
Yes, but now we're going to roll into the Southeast. Southeast went down to Meadow Creek, down to Lilburn, Georgia, which is kind of a haul. Yeah, so both teams came out victorious.
Yeah.
The boys came out with a what was it, a 2-1 win.
Yep.
And the girls came out, and it should have been 3-1. I think they had Southeast did have a PK that was stopped. My sister was down there because my nephew plays. They said that the goalie stopped it.
Gonna give your nephew a shout
Yeah,
out?
Manny Lopez, love you, little man. And then we also had Southeast girls up 4-2. And I'm just going to read, Coach Close gave us a little insight. So this is coming from Coach Close. Thank you. He did say, hey, Southeast Lady Rays defeated 7A Meadow Creek. So think about it, Southeast is 4A. They're going down 7-8. They went up 3 notches. It came out with a 4-2 win away. So it was a very physical matchup, which is going to serve them well later in the season. With Southeast strikes first with a late first half goal from Leslie Alanis. Then Falstein, Sarah got an early second half goal to put the Lady Rays up 2-1 before the Mustangs came back and cut the lead in half to 2-1. Callie Ramirez then got one back for the Lady Rays straight off the kickoff to make it 3-1. Mustangs scored shortly after that. And then with less than 10 minutes, Leslie got her second goal and made it up 4-2 in honor of Lady Rays. So
jumping up to 7A, that's the kind of thing, and we saw like Northwest girls do it in previous years, and I'm not saying they said it, but you see this kind of theme, like going outside the area. Dalton kind of did it first, Dalton boys, right?
Yeah.
But everybody's quickly seeing that you go and you play the biggest competition you can, whether it's first game or last game, because it's all about the playoffs. And that's exactly what Southeast has done.
And I'm going to call it, I'm expecting a big season out of Leslie Alanis. If you don't know her, that's the one that wore a shirt last year when saying, what's the weather looking like, Roy?
Got called out.
I think she's going to be like a 15 to 20 game goal scorer this year, and probably this year.
And Coach Close really hopes you're right about that, because she needs to replace, I believe it was Bree Hurtado's goals. So that would be kind of a.
But now the North, and then we go Southeast. They went down and came back with a 2-1 win.
Another brace by another player this week. Joseph Pena got 2 goals. So.
And Joseph Pena is a sophomore. This is his first varsity action ever. Comes out in a scrimmage game, scores a brace. Obviously, right now they're waiting out the Jonathan Hernandez flash situation. Yep. He's out with an injury. Hopefully coming back towards the later part of the season. Angel Garcia, their stud. Swiss Army knife that plays in the back, plays in the right. Wherever they need them. He was out this game, but they came back. Southeast, and we'll discuss it. They got a couple games this season, this week that we're going to discuss a little more in depth. But with that, we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we'll discuss the upcoming games that we have this week. So with that, week. Yes, it's going to be a busy week. So let's go. We're going to commercial break.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
Experience the power of the links. OptiLink's streaming app VidLink, powered by its fastest internet service, GigLink. Your link to reliable remote access to healthcare. Your link to the best educational opportunities. Your link to our community's only local provider. Your link to the ultimate in entertainment choices and gaming experiences. No interruptions and faster downloads power up your life with the perfect combination of speed and entertainment. VidLink and GigLink. Upgrade today and get the power of the link.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams a reality.
At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
At Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty, we've been serving our community since 1974 with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Cleveland, Tennessee. We've got you covered.
Night Football final segment of our second episode of the season, and not counting the coaches episode. We don't want to leave North Murray out. Todd, I'm going to turn it over to you to score a little bit of North Murray.
Yeah, so Gilmer comes across the mountain to play North Murray. The girls get the draw 2-2, so Coach Ambrose has got them off to a good start after an excellent season last year. Like I mentioned, they're starting 6 freshmen this year, so that's always going to be – you definitely look for freshmen to get better and better as the year goes on. Goals by Ruby Hernandez, Kelly Taylor, in that game, and then the guys, Coach Chambers, off to a great start with a 2-1 win over Gilmer and another brace. I don't know how many players we had score 2 goals this week, but a brace by Uriel Marquez. So he was a goal scorer all last year, and they're going to lean on him heavily the rest of the year. So good job over at North Murray, off to a great start. And
I mean, those are some solid games that they played. You know, obviously in a minute, we're going to look at this upcoming games on our scoreboard.
But
we got it up here in a minute. We have a slide showing on it. So that's going to help out because they start right off and start playing a tough competition right off the bat.
Yep.
You know, they're playing Heritage as of tomorrow, and that's not an easy game.
That's a region game for them.
No, Heritage is a 4A.
4A, that's right.
So, yes.
3A is congested.
But, so we've got a lot to talk about. You know, hopefully, we'll get this scoreboard up here and we'll discuss, or not the scoreboard, the upcoming schedule.
Games.
But, like I'm saying, we can discuss a little bit, starting off tomorrow. Tuesday, a busy day. We have 5 games going on in the area tomorrow. You have Christian Heritage going against Sonoraville.
Sonorsville.
Or the Ville, the little stepchilds of Calhoun, I guess. Then we have Coahulla Creek playing Murray County. That is going to be
I like that one. Now, that game, I did get a tip that one may be moved. So keep your eye on that one. That one may shift to the creek because you saw the field conditions over at Murray. It was heavy sand on that, and it was already messed up. So keep your eyes on that one if you planned on traveling to that game.
And then Dalton, actually not at Northwest, but Dalton playing Northwest coming to Dalton. That's going to be a big game. My understanding, that game may be moved probably to the Academy Stadium because of the weather. Dalton Academy's not playing tomorrow, so the stadium will be free. So it'll be interesting to see that. It's going to be good.
That's both. That's
both.
So we're going to get to see the girls. We'll see. If you remember last year, Dalton girls, they had Northwest numbers. So let's see what happens this year.
Yep.
This will be a good gauge for both squads right out of the gate. Remember, Northwest got that game against Creek last week, and now Dalton girls going to be coming out kind of cold, right?
Yeah.
Because the red and white game got canceled. So
then you have North Murray at Heritage, which is going to be a big game for North Murray. They're going up to play a 4A opponent, regions.
Especially for Coach Ambrose's girls, right? So Heritage is the quality side over on
and then we have Southeast at Sprayberry, and that's going to be Southeast is Sprayberry coming to Southeast because last year that Southeast lost to Sprayberry 2-1, and they lost their starting keeper in the first game of the season. So we're going to see. I think Southeast is going to come out a little. Coming out to get a little bit of revenge in that game.
Yeah, I think there'll be a little bite in those first few tackles for sure, and they'll look to set the tone. And I know that they're going to want to get off to a good start in that game and would love to get the revenge win.
And then Thursday, we going in Thursday. No games on Wednesday, but then Thursday we got Coahulla Creek versus Union County. If you all don't know Union County, and that is a team out in the mountains, so they'll be making the trek over to Coahulla Creek. Northwest girls versus Mount Vernon at home.
Hey, you want to play big teams? Schedule big teams.
Then you got Christian Heritage boys playing Heritage. Coach Boyd is not messing around.
No, and I didn't talk about Coach Boyd, and I don't know if we did a good service to her squad, but they may have something special this year. Just keep an eye on them. I think she's going to have those men playing very well by the end of the year, and I look for them to make some serious noise in the playoffs.
Then we have Dalton. I have this one penciled in on my calendar. Dalton versus Vestavia Hills. This is a matchup. Dalton has played Vestavia Hills in the last few years. They normally play them. They have played them in the past in the tournament. Last year they went down to Vestavia Hills. Dalton came out on top. But Vestavia Hills is not a slouch. A team from the Birmingham area. Very strong team. So that, if you want to watch some high-level soccer on a third. All these games are great, but if you want to watch a very tightly contested matchup, that Dalton-Vestavia Hills game will be the one to watch at 7 p.m.
I think Dalton bossed them last year. I think maybe even like to the tune of maybe like 5-1 or something like that. And that was when Vestavia was ranked in the top 5 in Alabama. So, but that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on.
So, and then we have Dalton Academy at Murray, but with the weather, could that game be played at TDA?
Very possibly another one to keep your eye on, but I got to say, I think that's especially on the guys' side. I think that's a very even matchup.
I don't think so. You think the guys' side's even matchup? I'm gonna say Dalton Academy comes out 3-1. I think Ruri, after the team losing to Christian Heritage, even though it was a scrimmage, I think it left a bad taste in their mouth. I'm gonna say Dalton Academy's boys going to come up 3-1 on Murray County.
Ooh,
yes.
I'm not willing to put a prediction out there, but I think it's going to be.
And what about the girls?
Really
What about the girls' game?
The girls' game, I'm gonna tip my hat to Murray County. I'm gonna go 1-0 Murray on the girls' side.
All
See,
right.
I gave you a pick.
Yes. And then Friday, we end the week. We got North Murray going to. Sorry, that was a misspelling of mine. It's at Dawson. So they're going over the mountain, the home of Bill Elliott and Chase Elliott for you NASCAR fans out there.
How do you even know that?
You just got to know a little bit of history, man. Then we have Southeast girls going to Fort Payne. This is the girls going down to Fort Payne.
Well, Coach Ghost talked about it, right? Like, he wants to play these teams. Like, once again, everybody's recognized you play the big games because you don't want to get into the playoffs and not be battle tested. And they know all about getting that bad draw, right? So, you're going to pop up and play like a huge team, even if you finish high up in your division.
Then you have Southeast boys going to Rome. So this game will be at Rome Friday night at 7 p.m. It's going to be a good match. It's going to be a good test. Does Southeast go out 1-0, or do they start the week 0-2? Do they come out 1-1, or do they go out 2-0?
Next week.
It's going to be a big week. Next week? This week. We're talking.
This week.
It's
Monday
week.
night.
Yes, Monday night. And then, as mentioned earlier, Allatoona plays another area school in Northwest. Yeah. They lost to Dalton 3-1. So obviously,
good test for Northwest.
Yeah, it's going to be a big test for Northwest. Obviously, Northwest had played Dalton on Tuesday. They come back, play Allatoona. So the question is one of these teams going to go down?
I think this is the measuring stick for Northwest is the Allatoona match.
But I'm assuming Nico Cunha, they're not going to have an answer for Nico.
Man, has anybody ever had an answer for Nico?
No, I mean, well,
he'll score goals, man.
Well, yeah, the answer was when he went to Europe.
When he wasn't here.
When he wasn't here, went to Europe, and I think Esau probably was a little upset about that.
Why you gotta bring up old stuff?
But look, there's going to be a lot of soccer to be played around this week.
Chocolate for sale.
Did they not have hot chocolate?
I'm 0 for 1 on hot chocolate. It's a 5-gallon bucket of hot chocolate. Don't complain about not making money at the gate if you're not selling hot chocolate when it's 44 degrees.
Well, my question is, are we going to get
over?
My question is are we going to get tacos at Dalton High? We didn't get tacos last year at Dalton High. I'm wondering if we're going to get tacos at Dalton High this year. We'll see if it happens. But I'm looking forward to the games this week. Like I said. Any predictions on some of these games before we got it?
I gave you the only prediction that I feel remotely comfortable in giving, and that's all I'm giving. I can just tell you the games I'm super interested in. That's the Coahulla Creek Murray. That one piques my interest. I think it's a more even on the boys' side than you might think. Yeah. I tip my hat to Coahulla Creek, but I'm not going to be shocked if Murray's got a little something for him. I may have a little soft spot in my heart for Murray. I don't know what's going on there. What do you like?
As mentioned, I mean, the Dalton Northwest is a good game. Southeast Sprayberry. I mean, there's quite a few. I mean, there's some big games. The Dalton, Vestavia Hills, Dalton Academy
the Northwest girls versus Mount Vernon. We saw.
I don't know much about Mount Vernon, so I don't even know how.
Look, all I know is I hear Mount Vernon, I hear Atlanta. What do you hear?
Oh, so it's gonna be a tough game.
So that's what I think. So I think that'll be, they got that win, versus Coahulla Creek, but I think this might be another measuring stick.
Yeah, another measuring stick.
Coach Issa to see what he's got.
So with that, we're coming over the final seconds of this episode, our first official episode after the Coaches Edition.
Yeah, hey, hit us up on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Interact with us. Like, that's why we're here. Mostly it's me, I'll admit. Juan does a lot of legwork on the Facebook account, especially posting your scores, your schedules, and that sort of thing. But hit us up, WDNN Monday Night Football, FUTBOL, Facebook, Instagram, and, of course, the WDNN. You can YouTube this.
And with that, this show is a wrap. So we'll see y'all next week. Thank you very much.